Are you stuck? How about unhappy? Join Alena Chapman, author, mentor, and life coach for Magical Moments with Alena, as she challenges you to get out of the doldrum and start living your life to the fullest. Alena will help you take control of your life and push you to do the things you never thought you'd do. So get ready to take back your power and celebrate life with Magical Moments featuring Alena Chapman.
Welcome to Magical Moments, and I'm your host, Alena Chapman, and my gosh, it's all about that wonderful ease and flow in our life. And this magical nugget has come from observation on my part, and I can't miss it. I mean, I don't listen to the news, although I seem to hear a lot of the news, and I don't try to put myself into worlds of conflict, but guess what? We have a lot of conflict in our world. And that's not ease and flow, folks. That's not ease and flow. That is hard. So this is the thing. We need compassion and we need tolerance. Dalai Lama, one of the two things he talks about that he thinks we need in our world right now, compassion. Compassion. Now, it's funny. We have compassion. We'll be going to the grocery store. Maybe we'll open the door for someone. We have compassion when we are at a coffee line and we pay for the person behind us. But compassion also comes in how we bring ourselves to the table with our ideas and with this incredible thing that seems to be taking over our bodies. And this is this I am right judgment. Now, I am right judgment. You know, guys, I get it. Because this little old Alena, who seems so wonderful and fine and talks about love, love, love. I'll even sing the song for you sometimes. But it is, you know, I was an activist in my own right. I mean, I wasn't like big. I wasn't known to the world, but I was an activist, very much fighting for the wolves, for animals, for people's rights, for women out. You know, I can't stand seeing anybody not having freedom. And so I was always fighting for something. But this is the thing. Never did I not have compassion. And if someone thought differently than me, I didn't hold up my whole issue like this giant flag blocking out anything they had to say. And I never, ever felt a strong feeling like, I hate to even say it, but hate for another side. I just felt that we needed greater education. And when I fought for the life of the wolves, I also felt, and for women, I felt there had to be education on both sides because there's always a middle ground. But what I'm seeing now is that we are forgetting the tolerance and the compassion for others. And we're hiding behind this thing we've always had, judgment. But we've added fuel to it. And that's that false righteousness that we are right. And it fires your belly and it gives you this wonderful feeling inside that, oh, I'm making a difference. I know, I felt it. But here's the thing. It burns bridges. It creates upheaval, which you say, oh, that's great. But it's not always a good upheaval. It stops people from listening. They put up walls. They never hear the message you're trying. You never get to save the wolves because you're so abrasive and judgmental. And you're telling instead of educating. And all of a sudden, they put up walls, which causes you frustration, which causes you a harder fight. That is not ease and flow. It is the total opposite. It is total yang, fire feeding fire for us spiritually. And fire, when you feed fire, it grows fire. But when you have a situation that is fire, what we don't understand, it is that wonderful yin. You need yin and yang, but right now we've got so much yang, we are creating fires everywhere. Social media, in our lives, with our friends. There are families that won't even talk to each other still. Those are relationships that we'll never get back. We need some yin. We need to go within ourselves. We need to take a look and say, hey, let me try to open. Why is it that I feel so freaking threatened? And when we come at it with a little bit of tolerance, start with tolerance. You know me, that baby step stuff. That's what I'm all about. Strategic baby steps. Then start with tolerance. Okay, I don't agree with them, but they do have a right to their opinion. Wonderful. Oh my gosh, that's leaps. And then move into compassion for that other person. And then before you know it, you'll start hearing them, and they will start to want to hear you. And that, my friends, is how the world will change for the better. And you'll have ease and flow too. That brings me to our guest, who is just a delight. Not only is she a delight, she is smart. She has tapped into her wonderful intuitive side, and she teaches it, but she has something special. Her name is Brandi Veil, and she came to me through a friend. We had a delightful conversation. She's an investor, an impact advisor, international spokesperson for innovation, wellness, and technology. But there's more. Brandi Veil is a spokeswoman for impact investing, mindful business, and digital impact, including token economics focused on conservation and humanitarian projects, aligned with the SDGs, S's, and I don't even know what that is, and NFTS impact movement. Interesting, isn't it? All right, with that, I'm just going to bring her on because I want you to also see the very special intuitive side of her. Hey, Brandi.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to be here. And I love that you don't know about the SDGs, which gives us an opportunity now, doesn't it?
Yes, I know. Well, I am open. If there's something I don't know, I love to learn. So that's one thing I'll be learning too. But so now you deal a lot with, you even put it in your bio, with the computer world. And where am I seeing so much of this lack of compassion and this just blatant, straight out, this is how it has to be to move forward. And we were missing, and all these blocks here, blocks there, can't have this on, can have this on. We've been going through that all through COVID. We've had, I mean, technology is really going through what society's going through. Mm-hmm. What are you seeing in technology, and where are you thinking it's heading? Where, you know, where do you think it's heading with what's going on right now?
I would love to first start with who we are, right? So who we are, if you think about your physical body, right, the structure of your body, the cells, the organs, the bones, if you think about really what we are as a physical being, then you can move into a deeper level of consciousness and how we function, right?
Right.
So my background is in production and bridging the gap, bringing the world through marketing and entertainment, product seeding, and this whole consumer world over 15 years ago. It was until I woke up. You know, I woke up through a car accident, which then allowed me to have a deeper understanding about the body and consciousness.
And what did you see once you got, well, of course you did. I mean, when your body is, you know, stressed, or when it goes through a traumatic thing, it changes everything, how you perceive the world, you know? What did you see when you woke up?
I saw a world that was mostly corrupt that I was in, mostly one-sided and aggressive and greedy, and numbing out. Lots of alcohol sponsors, lots of just music that just was changing people's abilities. Yes, it was very, very hard. So I left the event world and I got into becoming a yogi practitioner and ultimately a high level intuitive after all the meditation and the daily practice. So,
And doesn't it feel wonderful? I mean, I want to stop right there because we have people out there in this world, who, they think, okay, we live in a world of flowers. And I actually had a guy tell me, you have got to come out of, what did he say? Princess, not princess-like in material. You have to get out of your little castle up on the hill and come down here and be in the mud with everyone. And I've have you heard that?
Several times? Yeah.
Yeah, and yes, this is oh yeah. My producer's going, wow. Kayla's going, wow. Yeah, and I said, but hun, if I'm down there in the mud with you, who's going to hold out a hand and help you out? And that's exactly the truth. So, but people don't believe that we live a real life. And what is your response to that?
I had to go from one reality in the mud, which was really fun, right? Partying and all of the stuff and the celebrities and all of that. And then into near-death experience. So out of the mud, but really up into some other space that no one related to me. I had a cognitive concussion, speech impediment, all that stuff happened.
Oh, wow.
And then I went through 3 years of understanding how the body functions as technology. And so
cool.
If you can imagine, people put us on pedestals because maybe we're eating green or we're doing our breath work, maybe we are wearing a white veil at times and flowy dresses, whatever it might be. And it's angelic beings. We are angelic beings. It's just sometimes when we get into the modern world, our brain function, our logical brain, our frontal cortex, or the neocortex rather, the new brain, tells us how to either protect ourselves, fight or flight, or to keep doing the same pattern over and over and over. And through meditation, I found we go into this area of our brain, midbrain, that allows us to have potential. And we're able to tap into alternate states of consciousness that then guides us.
It's like a computer.
Thank you. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I took on this mission of wellness and innovation and technology because I know that we humans, we are so powerful creators. We are creating constantly without understanding whether
what
it's
we're creating. Yeah. Exactly.
And we have solutions within us that are coming from, I call it divine guidance, right? We see something wrong, and like you said, you are an advocate, you are somebody out there who's passionate. We got to go beyond, you said having tolerance, and I wrote down going beyond tolerance.
Yeah.
Going beyond tolerance.
Tolerance is the beginning. Because if you can just say, okay, I can live and let live, and I can be who I am and bring forth what I think is truth. But if someone doesn't believe in me, I have tolerance for their opinion and their life and their journey. That's the very first step. But then it must go deeper. But it does, because once you have that tolerance, my God, the weight off your shoulders. We don't understand how much heaviness we put on ourselves when we constantly have fire in our belly.
That's the digital world for me.
What's SF? What is this?
It's social development goals. It's what the United Nations have brought together with our year 2030 goals to have complete sustainability all around the globe. And so I lead a coalition, or it's actually a for-profit, it's an enterprise that brings youth and works with the United Nations SDGs, Social Development Goals, to clearly recognize the skill gaps and the areas that we must focus on, right? Because there's equality and there's inclusion and then there's education. And at the very base level, there's such poverty of knowledge and self-reliance because we have given it over for so long. We have given it to our governments, we've given it to our parents, we've given it over to our banking system, we give it to our doctors, our attorneys. I mean, we've given it over to everyone. So my role as a spokesperson is to look at projects and see how they can all weave together for the better good of humanity. And we start with the youth and impact projects. So one of my biggest projects right now is the digital economy and technologies like blockchain, and helping people like your viewers listening, or your listeners,
yes,
to learn to trust. To learn to trust.
I love it. Yeah. Learn to trust. That's very big. That's very hard for people.
Well, if you think about trust and what an exchange is, then you can start to see the innovation in financing. So if you learn to trust, right, that trust is an agreement.
It
Trust is an agreement.
It is.
And it's also patterns over time. So you might not trust someone or something if they keep on making these same mistakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Patterns. But you may trust a system that is transparent, open on a ledger, and equally having a transaction between whether it's your community, your banking system, or even a transaction between one another. And I am talking about currencies, but not just currency,
No, you're not. It's a way of being, really.
Yes, exactly. And so the digital world is becoming our human world. We hold our phones all the time. We text. We're in front of the computer. We're Zooming. We're doing so much. So that particular world is emerging, and we are becoming one. And there's so much to layer into the conversation about spatial webs and gamification and currencies in gamification with kids. And
there's tons. I mean, it's so fascinating. It changes every day. But there is one thing I'd love to talk about social media, because that is our world. And I'll tell you, when the phone first came about, and this whole network, friends, I mean, I thought, my gosh, this is incredible. I can talk to my friends in Germany. I can talk to them in Corsica. I can talk to them all over the world on the phone now, where before it was like they were so far away. So I saw it as this incredible way for the world to get smaller and for us to all join and talk and create and be and make it a better place with that connection. But, things have happened. And the phone has that. But people have gotten lost on the internet, on the social media. They crave, this is what I've been seeing. And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, change my mind. I would love that. But I have been seeing so much just doing stuff just for the likes. It doesn't matter what it is, and it doesn't matter if it's, and that's the problem. The people are liking the stuff that is not good. I mean, it's hurtful sometimes. It's degrading. It strikes out at, I don't know, I'm just seeing an ugliness. And I'm also seeing and hearing, people feel so brave to put down other people, to hurt them in comments and how they respond. It's like they see it as a different world when really it's not. What do you think about this world that could be so amazing for our growth as a humanity and as a world versus what we're making it? Or are we making it? I mean, change my mind, Brandi. Do it. I love it.
So if you flash forward to 25 years out from today, and you have a high-level view of what's actually happening in the tech space of dissemination and interconnectivity, then you'll start to wonder, well, when will the people at a lower view right now today, when will the people wake up?
Yes.
When will the people say, oh, my goodness, this is the dopamine fix?
Yes.
Or
yes.
I need to get up off of Zoom calls or the tutorials and go outside in Mother Nature.
Right.
Or take some time to hug someone in front of us or a stranger to have eye contact.
So big.
So, yeah, so is the world, right, because it's a big question, is the world as a whole waking up? Something to think about and listen to your heart. Or is the world becoming more self-aware and focusing on how we can work together, because things have not worked or they're breaking down. We've seen it with disease and pandemics. We've seen it with poverty. We've seen it with the water systems and the air. So if we project out into, say, 2030, right, or 25 years out to now, what does that world look like? And so that's where I live when I'm working with clients is we start at year 2030. And we say food is available, abundance is available, universal income is available, all these things, everything is there.
You take away the fear.
Every bit of it. That's right.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're taking away the fear. Because if you can see yourself in 2030 with all this abundance, and then there's nothing for you to be afraid of. You can have everything in that year. And so how you start to, it's like visualization. And then you start moving towards it, right?
It's not like it is. So we project we project an image out there. I love this. I can go down the rabbit hole on spirituality all day.
Keep going. I love it. That's what this is about.
is we understand, well, most of us are waking up to our power. And then at that point, we shut down our phones, get off the computer, and we go and we listen. And we do our daily routines so that we change the brain. And when we change the brain, our physiology changes, and then we take actions differently. And taking action can mean getting, a group of 5 or 10 people in our house, or going to the park and talking about things that we're truly passionate about. And then from passion turns into a conversation of action. And then action turns into more technology, right? We go and look, how do we find solutions? Of course, then we do our research. And then from there, we start to see the emerging world.
Yeah, it does. It just does start with us. And I think you are right. It is getting rid of, if we go to 2030, we're not only getting rid of fear, we're getting rid of everything that we think has to be right now. You know what I mean? It opens the door to all possibilities. It opens the door to how do you want to live? Who do you want to be? You have a chance. And it does. It just opens that door. It is funny. I really feel that you are 100% correct. The more awake we become, the more we turn off the social media because it's not real. But it is real, but it's not real for us at that moment. It'll become real again. How can people find out about you if they want to learn more about this?
I'm easy to find on LinkedIn, so you really understand the depth of my work. If people are out there listening to this, there are some key indicators that the world is changing. And so if you want to find out about cryptocurrencies or NFTs, which is non-fungible tokens and the digital money of crypto art, it's fun. It's so much fun right now. We'll be in Art Basel. We're going to be showing with the mayor in Miami, launching their first cryptocurrency.
Yeah,
their objective.
It's really taking hold.
So if we have entrepreneurs out there who just want to connect with their heart, these are I'm so passionate about first you, then others. So LinkedIn, or you can go to my website, brandiveil.com, and I have some free gifts also. If you haven't started your crypto journey, then you can go to bit.ly, which is bit.ly, /Coinbase Love. Coinbase Love.
Yeah, cryptocurrency. I have cryptocurrency. It's a whole community. And by doctors and mechanics for your car. Everybody is there in that cryptocurrency world. It's a very interesting world. And, I kind of like the concept. It's very cool. You're on to very neat things.
Since 2010, I believe that we humanize technology. We are humanizing technology, and we are augmenting the reality as we stand here today, projecting into the future.
Yeah.
And so
what's interesting, the more we humanize it, the more we take more power into our hands than out of it. Because before you had to give it to somebody else to invest, somebody else into this world. Because my dad was, pretty high up there in the stock market stuff. And so I kind of learned, but I always said, that's an imaginary world, Dad. But yet it ran everything. But it wasn't, you couldn't touch it. You couldn't see it. You can touch and see. You know what I mean? You can see it. It's very cool.
We are at our all-time high. Bitcoin is at its all-time high today. And of course, ebbs and flows and Fibonacci code sequences. We know that it's going to go back down. So paying attention to how our emotions are during these times of, abundance and then pulling back. And then abundance and then pulling back. It's, why we meditate.
You can understand the world then. Yeah. And if you understand it, you can start to change. Everyone out there, I hope you've enjoyed this show. I'm Alena Chapman, and Soul Manifesto, my guys, is growing incredible. If you want a group where, these kinds of ideas are brought forth in so many loving and wonderful ways, and you want to grow and you want to connect to something deeper inside of you, then check out Soul Manifesto. Love you all. Remember, spirit is love. So the more that we get all that other stuff out of the way and we bring that into everything in our lives, even computers, oh my gosh, then spirit can be a part of everything. Namaste, my beautiful friends. Namaste.
You're listening to Magical Moments with Alena Chapman, helping you find your inner purpose. Learn more online at soulmanifesto.com.